There's a common phrase, two things are certain in life, death and taxes. But for Leon, on the other hand, he plans to change that.
I want to live till I'm 3,000 years old. I want to be on another planet when I die.
Do you think that's realistic?
Leon is a biohacker, and he will do anything to live as long as he possibly can, even though it means some very unconventional ways.
I could spend anywhere between $20,000 to $50,000 a year on biohacking. Here I have some more supplements.
How many?
40 to 60 pills. We have signed up for cryonics.
So when you die,
When you freeze yourself, yeah. The government want you sick so that you can be controllable. This is anti-organ rejection drug.
And it's what, like minus 100?
Minus 120 today.
How will I know if my skin's burning?
You're gonna feel extreme pain.
All right.
Today, we'll be watching The Man Who Will Live Forever, Biohacker Life Uncovered by Channel 4. We will be going through Leon's life and everything he does to live the longest life possible.
Leon's days are spent fasting for 22 hours, taking huge amounts of supplements, working out, and taking off-label prescription pills.
Okay, well, there is a lot unpacked here already. So, working out is obviously awesome. 22 hours of intermittent fasting, that sounds horrendous. First of all, you're missing out of all the windows of protein synthesis in times in which you could be eating, getting enough protein in to fuel your body and your workouts. Intermittent fasting really isn't all that good. Now, if it works for you, that's awesome, go ahead and do it. But as I said, you're missing out a lot of opportunities to properly eat and fuel your body. And do I even need to get into the whole supplement things? Supplements are a great tool, but it shouldn't be used as the main factor. If you have a proper diet, and there's no need for supplements, but supplements are awesome just to add a little extra. It's like the icing on the cake. And then non-prescription drugs. Dude, I don't even need to talk about that. What are you doing?
So I'm currently in Canary Wharf, and I'm just about to meet Leon. Biohacking totally interests me, I can't lie. It requires a lot of dedication, and it feels like it could just be a big waste of time. I mean, if it's true, who doesn't want to be young forever? So
I mean, biohacking is definitely an interesting thing. I think you should really just stick to the basics of trying to hit your macros, trying to get just trying to get the right food in, and I think you just kind of see where God takes you from there. But obviously, there's nothing really wrong with trying to live up to the best way you possibly can, but at a point it can get very addictive, sort of like the whole look maxing thing, and it can become really obsessive and take over your whole life. And then at that point, are you really living, or are you just trying to live longer? Like, is that a life worth living, if that makes sense?
I can totally see the appeal of it. My big question is is it just all a scam?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Ben.
Yeah, good. Nice to meet you.
Nice
How you
to
doing?
meet you as well. Thanks for
come
letting
in.
me come.
Yeah, of course.
Show me what it takes to
Sure.
biohack.
Let me just make you a bulletproof coffee.
I've heard a lot about bulletproof coffees, but
think
I
you're
always
gonna-
just thought, you know what, butter and a coffee.
Yeah, no, this is my
Not
spin on
into
it. This is the green tea powder, some turmeric.
3 different types of mushrooms.
Yep.
So what?
To be honest, I think you might be on a little more than just those type of mushrooms, if you know what I mean.
Why do this?
I want to live forever. It's not 180. I want to live till I'm 3,000 years old. I want to be on another planet when I die.
Do you think that's realistic?
Definitely.
You think you
100%.
can realistically live forever?
The speed of innovation is exponential at the.
To be honest, even if you could live forever, why would you want to? Why would you want to live at like 100, 200 years old and barely moving? To me, it's not a question of, does this man want to live forever, rather than a question of, I think he's afraid of death. And I think that definitely needs to be considered. Also, I don't really know how old he is, but he could either be in his 40s or 50s. I can't really tell.
I don't think I fully know your real age compared.
36.
You're 36,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm
So we're
36.
not that different in age.
This is my.
Wow, I'm not even trying to be an ass, but I would have never guessed 36. I would debatably say that the interviewer looks a lot younger than the self-proclaimed biohacker.
My bedroom.
That's a lot of oils.
Yeah, so these
Is
are...
this for your face? This is
No, these are
beauty.
to ingest.
How much of an investment is it to have this level of stuff?
Maybe around 1,000 every 45 to 60 days.
Which isn't small change, is it?
It's
You know,
not. Some people buy a Gucci bag. I'd like to just keep my health.
Okay, so I definitely sort of understand that logic of thinking. Like, I'm kind of on the same end. Like, people like my age, I'm in college, they like to drink, they like to smoke. My thing is pre-workout and going to the gym. That's sort of my drug of choice. I'll take a crap load of caffeine, but I'm not claiming that's healthy. And to be honest, I'm not too sure if he should be claiming that taking hundreds of pills, $1,000 a month is healthy, you know?
Sleep is by far and away the best thing that you can do for your health long term.
do you have like a specific position?
Just side
besides
sleeper,
sleeper?
pillow between the legs to kind of align the spine.
I mean, that's quite comfortable. I mean, what are the kind of health benefits of this?
It's strictly postural. Typically,
Now again, he's spot on with this. Sleep is absolutely crucial. If you can, try to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep in, and that is the absolute best thing you can do for your health and for muscle growth.
just come out here. My wife and daughter are usually still sleeping. I will do Wim Hof breathing. I will show you an example of how I do the breathing. I'll start first and then you can just kind of jump in.
Now I actually love Wim Hof, but you know this guy's getting high off his mind off of all this breathing techniques.
It is extremely powerful. You can get high from doing that, from all the oxygen.
Come on, what did I say?
All of the supplements down here are basically what I use for, when I work out stuff. You have your protein, your MCT oil, powdered peanut butter, some moringa powder.
So he has more supplements for the supplements. Guys, like, seriously, if you don't have enough money to buy all these supplements, just don't. Just get on a proper diet and you'll be just fine.
One of the big questions, isn't it, I guess, is like, is it all just a money-making scheme?
I definitely think that some of it is a money-making scheme. People that know what they're doing, like me, can usually avoid
You can filter
the
through
traps of that.
Yeah.
Taking the pill.
I mean, 100%. It is definitely a marketing money scheme. Now, a lot of stuff has been proven to show benefits like creatine, protein powder, pre-workout. But, again, I would disagree. It definitely seems like he has fallen into that trap.
Pills is simple. You take them out and you down them.
And it's what? How many?
Between 40 to 60. And that
It
doesn't...
smells like a pharmacy.
Yeah, it smells bad. I'll put a few more in there. Grass-fed beef organs. It's really great. I love it.
Bro's liver must be absolutely cooked. Also, you can only digest a certain amount before it becomes toxic, or your body just completely flushes it out. So blood just has very expensive piss.
Isn't there an argument that your body can only take a X amount of vitamins and it'll just basically excrete the rest of it?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm fine with that happening. If part of it is wasted, fine. There is an argument for some of these vitamins that, like, in large amounts, they do have quite profound effects.
Do you
Okay, so he knows this and still doesn't care. I don't know if that's smart or just ignorance. I don't know.
struggle to handle the fact that you might die one day?
I would just say that I love my wife and daughter a lot, and I just want to spend as much time with them as possible.
But don't you see the contradictoriness in what you're saying? You're wasting all of your time trying to live as long as possible, but you're also wanting to stay with your wife and kid as long as possible. You simply cannot have your cake and eat it too. You're taking out your time and enjoying it with your family to using it to help you live longer.
Is it relaxing living like this?
I think about death a lot. I think about all of these things, and it can be a bit exhausting.
Where's the kind of need to biohack and to live forever come from?
My parents.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad died at 86 and my mom at 70, my mom from cancer. And they didn't trust doctors. My mom, I felt that her doctors just didn't do enough to throw the kitchen sink at it. It just made me real bitter in general towards the medical establishment. So, yeah.
I mean, it obviously sucks that this happened to the man, and he clearly has some deep-rooted trauma. But this really isn't the solution to this. He really needs to go to like a therapist or get some type of mental health. Because this is not okay. You can tell he's just so stressed out about the fact of him dying. And that's kind of a scary thought. As funny as all this might kind of be, for us to laugh at it, it is definitely, I definitely feel bad for the guy. I can't even lie. I definitely feel some sort of empathy for him.
As part of Leon's busy biohacking routine, he takes multiple prescription pills every day, but he doesn't actually have the conditions the pills are made for.
Are these prescription
These are
drugs?
prescription.
Is that legal?
It is completely. Yeah, it's completely. So
How are you getting them?
online pharmacies, legitimate pharmacies in the United States.
Are you worried about the prescription drug element of it, just
No.
in case
No, this,
maybe you take something you shouldn't? And
there's a ton of websites out there. I do the research. This is a diabetes drug, and obviously I don't have diabetes. They've proven taking this basically reduces all-cause mortality. This is just typical over-the-counter allergy medicine with loratadine in it. Loratadine is one of the ingredients that can block a particular cancer pathway. Tadalafil, it's for your sex drive, but the real benefit of this is, again, that it lowers your blood pressure. This is a little bit more controversial. This is an anti-organ rejection drug. There is an anti-aging off-label use for this. So I take 6 tablets of this.
And the empathy is gone. I feel nothing. He is being an absolute moron. I think this goes without saying. Do not do what he's doing. Contact a doctor before you do any of this, and take stuff that are prescribed to you.
So I've just stepped outside of Leon's house for a second, and it is a bit wild that he's just popping random prescription pills. That cannot be good for you. And obviously the big question is, is it worth it? Is he now younger as a consequence of doing these things? That's what I want to know. And yeah, I'm going to go back inside now. Go to the gym with him.
No, I 100% agree. Surely what Leon is doing cannot be healthy, and this should not be done under any circumstance.
You lead me through a crash course workout.
Yeah.
I'll take a 20. There we go. Ooh. And what time are you usually hitting the gym?
Around 8 p.m.
So it's the last thing you do just before you eat.
Exactly. In the future, my house is gonna be completely biohacked out. I'm gonna have the gym, the pool, the steam room and sauna. I'll have a hyperbaric oxygen tank. I'll have a cryotherapy tank.
So how much do you think you'd need to set aside to have a fully biohacked house?
Probably a few million. I'll have a reverse osmosis water system on my water tank so that I'm not bathing in water that has fluoride and chemicals in it. The government's trying to kill you with.
But are you saying that they are consciously trying to kill people?
100%,
or
because
they're trying to make people sick?
if people aren't sick, you don't make money. So
Definitely the conspiracy theorist, to say the least. I mean, he does bring up some points, but I am definitely not trying to unpack all that in this episode. I don't get paid enough to talk politics, and I don't get paid. But I'm just wondering, how does he have the money for all this? What does he do for a living?
I think most biohackers are just, they think it's important to be able to control their own outcomes rather than to bury their heads in the sand.
Man, I've said this once, and I'll say it again. There are 2 things certain in life: death and taxes. And you're not getting away from either of those.
So we're gonna go to my favorite biohacking clinic. It's called Human.
So there's actually something called a biohacking clinic. That's like a thing.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
Well, I'm intrigued. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Excited,
Yeah.
nervous. Should we
All right,
head off?
Yeah,
Let's do it.
head off. Let's go. Hey, Dr.
Leon, good to see you. How are you?
Pleasure to meet you.
Ben, nice to meet you
Should I
too.
call you Dr. E?
Please.
That sounds like something from a sci-fi, doesn't it?
Well, I think we are.
It does feel like we're in a sci-fi, yeah? Is this a place, so if I wanted to live forever, would this be a place I come to? Is that like a realistic ambition?
Living stronger for longer is one of our mantras.
Should we?
I mean, I guess it's a good thing he didn't go out and say yes, because he knows it's a complete lie, and I'm sure he believes a lot of this is BS marketing. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he fully believes in whatever they're about to do.
Check out some of the other therapies.
Sure, why the hell not?
So we do ozone therapy.
Yeah, go for it. So what's going on here then?
Ozone is 3 particles of oxygen, O3. Ozone therapy is delivery of ozone, mixing it with his blood and putting that back into his system. It increases the levels of antioxidants.
So is this now going back into his blood?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
I don't know, this is definitely out of my realm of knowledge here, and I don't know anything about this, but this is on some, like, Dracula type of stuff, like, taking out your own blood and putting it back in, that just seems weird.
One of the more unexpected elements of it for me is the kind of use of the kind of prescription drugs for off-label purposes. What do you think of that?
I don't use the medication myself for my patients.
Would you recommend it to a client?
We're not currently.
I guess there is a worry that maybe having a lot of that drug over a long period of time could have unforeseen consequences.
Yeah, I mean, consequences will come if they're gonna come, and they won't if they're not, so only time will tell.
I don't know, this doctor is giving me very weird vibes. It's sort of like Jekyll and Hyde kind of vibes. Like, the doctor's like, he asked him that prescription about, or that question about taking prescription drugs, and he's just like, walks away, and he's like, I don't know. That's also just such a terrible mindset to have. Like, oh, if bad things happens, it happens. You know, dog, you should not be taking off prescription drugs.
This is our cryotherapy suite. We're going to get you started in a second.
Is there an advantage over this to just have an ice bath?
Absolutely, yes. Because your head goes in as well. So, and you go to a lower temperature.
And it's what, like minus 100 and...
Minus 120 today.
Staying for how long? Like
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
So
No, I can't even lie. I think cryo chambers are a bit gimmicky. If you ask me, I don't think there's enough evidence to prove whether or not they work. But to be honest, I can't really say anything because I've never done it. But I will say, whether they work or not, cryotherapy is definitely something that I want to try.
any words of advice?
Get outside your mind.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think cryotherapy is also kind of a good thing because it can sort of just give you a lot more discipline in the sense of you're freezing your nuts off. And if you can withstand that, you can withstand anything. So I guess that on its own is pretty good, I guess.
Oh, God, man.
110 degrees first time.
Yeah, when it's good. I do feel good.
Yeah, you feel
I
good.
feel alive, for sure. I can't lie. It's a pretty meditative experience. Well, there you go. I'm now going to live forever. That's it. Despite a long day at the clinic, I was still skeptical about whether this was really making any difference. It felt like it could all just be a bit of a waste of time and money. So, I had an idea. I sent Leon what's called an epigenetic blood test. The results would be able to tell us the difference between his real chronological age and his biological age, meaning how old his cells are.
I've never done one before. We're gonna see how old I actually am.
Now, to me, this seems like a wonderful idea. I think getting your blood work done, just in general, is great. But to see, you know, if his off-prescription drug and whatever use is actually working for him, I think that's awesome. And I would actually love to see the other guy outperform Leon. Assuming these tests are accurate, I'm not too sure how accurate these, like, age quizzes are. I mean, yeah, I guess we'll have to find out.
I took the test as well, so that we could compare the results.
I'm trying to figure out how to hold it.
Biohacker versus non-biohacker. So you're significantly browner than when I last saw you.
Yeah, I've been using a peptide and it upregulates the melanin in your skin. For men, it like just really increases, I guess, the virality of your sexual function. I don't know what you call it, but
It's like
Nah, fam. Bro is hard maxing. Bro is race maxing. He is changing his color from white to brown. Why? This is like a new popular peptide in the fitness industry. It's sold on like all these research chemical websites. But dude, this is like, why are people doing this? Just go out and get a tan, my brother.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay.
So that's like one of the uses, and then the tanning is the other one. So you kind of get both together, and it's just.
So you're taking it to both increase your sexual appetite?
Personally, I was just curious. I had never taken it before, and I wanted to see what it does. I don't like it, you know, so much because it was too powerful.
Yeah.
You're having like these really uncomfortable moments on the train, like
Well,
you know, like
stonking erection.
Yeah,
Really?
it's just ridiculous, you know. So I'm probably gonna be laying off of it for a while.
And apparently it just makes you crazy horny. And he didn't even know what this thing really did. He just experimented with it. So that go ahead and sums up this whole video, I would imagine. But I am still really interested in seeing the results.
Not necessarily a biohacker. We're going to see whose biological age is younger. Yep. Do you actively
Yeah.
think about this stuff?
Well, I spend a lot of time in the bathroom sticking myself with needles in the stomach, basically.
What do you think of that?
The things that we're injecting into us, we need to be very, very careful about. There could be side effects, and that's a risk that you're kind of consciously taking. You know, I genuinely, as a doctor who came into this space to make things better, it concerns me.
Is it worth it? Because ultimately you're doing it because you want a long life, aren't you? So what if what if the consequence is the exact opposite?
I mean, at the end of the day, like I could walk out of here and get hit by a bus, or I could just not do anything and live as long as I would. Or I would say that there's a lot of people that don't do any research. I do as much as possible.
All right.
But brother, that's simply not true. You just contradicted yourself.
Personally, I was just curious. I had never taken it before, and I wanted to see what it does.
Hey, I'll let you guys choose for yourself.
Okay, you go first.
Okay.
There we go. Moments of truth.
Wow.
I can't even find the page.
I'm 20.
No. Wait, I'm also 20.
What the heck? So technically that means that I won because I'm older than you.
My biological age is 12 years younger.
Oh,
Yours
wow.
is 16 years younger.
Amazing.
So to wrap it up, they both ended up getting the same age of 20. And to be honest, I'm not based in this field, so I don't even know if those two are very accurate numbers to begin with. But how does that even work? The guy who is biohacking cut off 16 years of his life, and the guy who's just simply living life, he looks very healthy, I can't even lie. He could gain some muscle, but he also lost 20 years off of his life. So what does that mean? Dude, just go out and live life, man. Go out and enjoy your freaking life. Life is way too short to be worrying about your age, bro. Genetics plays such a big role in this. You know, all these different health aspects control so much of your life, and if you truly love your wife and kids, then you won't be so worried about death, and you'll go out and you'll love them. I hope Leon can get the health that he needs, and that he'll stop worrying about all this and just enjoy what's right in front of him, bro. You know, I'm sure Leon's a great guy, but he definitely has some work to do when it comes to all this, and I hope he can seek the proper help and attention that he needs in order to succeed. It's great that he's trying to improve his life, but it's gone to a point of insanity. But I think that'll pretty much wrap it up for today. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.